who do you want to serve as city councilman here in Las Cruces, or what is your vision there?
So I want to start with the district. Local government is just that, local government. I want to focus in on my district. We should have drivable, repaired streets, medians that will take in the water when it rains, streets that are, you could cycle through, and there's green space right now. That district is growing, and there's an opportunity to really, do great stuff, good stuff with greenery that is native here to Las Cruces. So it won't take up that much water, but it's going to look great. It's going to encourage people to go out and walk. I want to do what I've researched that are smart street lights. Okay. So basically what that is that you come up to a light, it senses if nobody is around, it'll immediately get you to the green light. Okay. And you're thinking, well, John, a couple of minutes or 5 minutes that you're waiting while nobody's there. What does that do? Well, one, that's more time with family. Gets you to work on time.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes. I'm like, right, I love that feature.
Exactly. There's, and it's also good for the environment. So you're not idling as much and messing with the environment. So it just does so many things, they're just a little bit more, but it just improves the flow of traffic. And as we're growing, and we're setting up streets and streetscapes, it'll just be just that much more efficient for just a little bit more.
Are you anticipating a lot of growth here in Las Cruces?
We are.
Hello, welcome to 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City. I am your host, Michelle M. Hollis, out of El Paso, Texas. But we are part of a bigger ecosystem that includes the whole Borderplex or borderland. This includes New Mexico and Juarez. Today, I'm presenting to you a very special conversation with Mr. John Munoz. He is running in Las Cruces, New Mexico for City Council District 6. And he is an incredible leader. You are going to get to learn so much about him. But the reason this is such a special conversation to me is that if you are a business owner, if you are a citizen in the Borderplex, Borderland, or even wherever you may live, it's important to get to know the people who are running your city. Many people don't even know the name of the mayor in their town. Do you? But even still, and less likely, do you know the name of your district your city council district person? And we each have one. So in a world and in a nation that is somewhat tumultuous, when we have food insecurity right now as we speak, and decisions that are coming from upon high government are affecting each and every one of us, it is truly my belief that being connected into your local community could not be more important than ever before. Okay, and so this conversation with John Munoz, who is also the president and CEO of Main Street Las Cruces, which is the downtown district, and also the chief relations officer at a technology startup that is really going to revolutionize healthcare, electronic caregiver, and that's home health care. He is an amazing person to have as a leadership in your area. Everything is important right now. It's always been, but definitely when it comes to technology, when it comes to engagement in your community, when it comes to education and how we're going to make sure that our children are not left behind, you want to make sure you have a leader who is in that forward thinking and active mode. And John Munoz is that leader. So I hope that you listen. And by the way, the video quality is not top tier as I would like, but that doesn't stop a great conversation. So make sure that you open your ears, open your heart, and listen to the attributes, listen to the vision that John Munoz has. for Las Cruces in New Mexico. And I want you to think, whether you live there or anywhere, what kind of leaders and qualities are you looking for? And then I want you to take an extra step, because this actually is, we're a little over a week out from the last day to vote. Yes, there are bills and there are items on the voting docket, not just for New Mexico, but for El Paso too, and for Texas in total, or for your state in total. So check into your local community. A simple Google search will do it. I will connect some links for New Mexico and for El Paso and Texas and Las Cruces. I'll post some links where you can look at what is coming up to vote on. And so instead of being angry and typing out our frustrations or speaking them out online, let's get involved and let's elevate the people that we want to see leading in these times. So without further ado, Mr. John Munoz. Hello and welcome to 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City. Today, I am your host, Michelle M. Trey Hollis, and I have a very special guest that I'm so excited and grateful to know and grateful to be sitting down with. And I want you to know that he is out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. He is the Chief Relations Officer at Electronic Caregiver, and he is running for City Councilman District 6 in Las Cruces, New Mexico, as we can see here. And you really just have to get to know him. So his name is John Munoz. And I want to quickly tell everybody how I met you, because I think that's important. Sure. Because of it's a testament and a testimony to how inviting and approachable that he is. I was working here in Las Cruces, and I was working at a home health care agency cat-a-corner down the street. And I was able to, I could see their big building, Electronic Caregiver. And I go, who's that? I was like, what company is that? And I had just entered the caregiving space. And so I was like, well, Electronic Caregiver, I love technology. There might be some, an opportunity there to connect and to work together. So I just went on LinkedIn, found Electronic Caregiver, found you, and messaged you, DM'd you on LinkedIn, and you were just so open. You didn't know me from Adam or Eve, and but you were, you just were open to having a conversation. So I'm so grateful to know you. I'm now a digital home care provider with Electronic Caregiver, but getting to know you as a leader is great. And of course, we're going to dig more into that. But welcome, John Munoz. Thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here, and welcome to the team. I'm so glad that you also took an interest in Electronic Caregiver. So
yes. Oh, I meant to say, too, that we are at the building that I was talking about, the Electronic Caregiver, the headquarters. Right. And we're on the top floor. And as you can see, we're looking over New Mexico, so Las Cruces. It's
absolutely beautiful, too. Now, speaking about looking, I just want to put that out there. I can see perfectly well, but if you ask me to read something, I just broke my glasses. So don't ask me to read anything. We'll just see eye to eye.
Hey, we see eye to eye. Exactly. Awesome. So what I would love for you to let people know a little bit is about who you are.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot to know about who you are, but we'll take the cliff notes.
Gotcha. Okay. Sure. So I'm a husband. I'm a father. I've been active and involved in the Las Cruces community for years and years and years. As a business person, I've had the opportunity and had so much fun in creating thousands of jobs and seeing people grow and develop in the business sector. On the nonprofit side, I've worked with lots of volunteers, and we've been able to really do some neat things and good things for Las Cruces and for community members. So that's really John in a nutshell.
Yes, a community person. Mm-hmm. And that is something that I have definitely been able to see and witness, which rolls us right into your bid for city council. What made you decide to, it sounds like you already have a lot going on. Yeah, You're a man who volunteers a lot. You're involved. You always have been. You're, in the C-suite of a tech company that's growing leaps and bounds. What made you decide, okay, so on top of all that, let's just go ahead and And let's go ahead and add some more to the pot.
That's pretty much what my wife said. Is there anything else you want to just extra you want to do, John? But no, when I saw what happened at Young Park and the shooting with those young adults, really children, I felt I had to do something. I felt I had to get involved and utilize some of my experience in dealing with multi-million-dollar budgets and dealing with complex projects and managing thousands of people, literally tens of thousands of individuals that I've had a chance to manage and lead during my career, and all with different opinions, all with different backgrounds. And I was able to get them together and do something and make some really good things happen. And I want to do that for Las Cruces. I mean, that's one piece. The other piece is really a commitment. Years ago, Senator Stephen Fishman said, "We need you in the office, John. We want you to run. I want you to run." And I says, "You know what? I'm hiring 600 people. In Las Cruces. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." I don't know that that's the timing was. The timing was not there. My son was in school. And how
long ago did you say this was?
My gosh, this was probably 2006, 2008.
Oh, okay.
So that was one piece. But he planted that seed. So I'm making good on that. The other piece was, Roberto Estrada, who passed away, the whole enchilada guy, and just a great friend. Same thing, just John, we need you to run. I want you to run. You should be great in leadership. And, unfortunately, he passed and he won't see this, but I'm making good on my commitment and saying, one day I'll do that, Roberto. And that day has come. So.
Wow. So people you've been called to this work, not just by the gods or by the good, the Most High, but by the people around you, which I truly believe. And I find this interesting, but I believe that when people kind of quote unquote don't want to do it, I'm not saying you don't want to do it, but when you feel like it's a service that you must do because, like you're saying, you're making good, and because that you have the ability to lead, I think that those make the best leaders. So just to go back a little bit, for those that don't know, because I'm not even that familiar with it, but can you let us know just a quick story about what happened at Young Park? Because I don't know.
Yeah, sure. It was a tragedy. There was a shooting. Several kids lost their life. About 15 people were shot. It was absolutely horrible. I mean,
when was this?
This was.
It was recent, right?
Yeah,
like in the past year. Because I remember hearing about
just a few months ago or so. But I mean, it was such a horrific event for the community. You would think, in Las Cruces, in our small town, things like that shouldn't be happening anywhere. Much less in our little town. And ultimately, when you think about it, we can come together as a community and solve for that by providing services and providing behavioral health counseling and making sure that just that the structure is there with our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers. All that needs to come together. And I want to do that. We get stuck in being a Democrat, being a Republican, being conservative, being liberal, progressive. You know what? Those kids, they
were none of those.
Yeah. Right.
They were none of those.
Doesn't matter what they were.
Right.
And so that's where we just need to come together. When I was growing up, I had great parents. We was born in Arizona. We lived in Arizona. My grandmother was from Texas. She became ill. My dad moved us down because she was very sick and very, very small family. So moved down to Texas. I come down. I had a hard time understanding them. Loved the Texans. Loved where I grew up. But it was hi, how y'all doing yonder and this and that. I'm like, I asked my dad. It's like, what are they saying? Are they speaking English or Spanish? I don't know what they're saying because the accent was so different from Arizona.
Is that right? You speak
Texas.
Fluent Spanish.
I speak Spanish. I speak Italian. I speak English. I speak Texan now. I had to learn that. It was so hard for me to adjust. New school system. My parents are busy with my grandmother. They're busy, transitioning to their new jobs, new church. Everything was so new. I had a hard time. And I struggled through middle school. I just didn't think I'd make it through high school. I was literally thinking of dropping out. My grades were horrible.
In high school?
in middle school.
Oh,
they were not good.
Mhm.
And a teacher stopped, and she was like, hey, Mrs. Brooks. She stopped and she's like, Johnny, I need to see you after school. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And I'm like,
Yeah,
stressing out. I go back to class and see her after school, and she's like, well, I think you're better than this. I don't understand why you're so behind. I was literally a couple of grades behind in reading. And she said, listen, if you're going to stay after school. I'm like, no. She said, we're going to stay after school. We're going to work together. I'm going to catch you up. I know you can catch up. And
Wow.
yeah, she did. She made just a huge difference. As your parents, sometimes, you may or may not get it, but you expect your parents to encourage you and think the best of you. And not everyone has that. I understand that. But I did. They were so busy with my grandmother and moving to Texas. So I worked with her. She worked with me. Next year, I'm in accelerated classes.
1 year. What a difference.
1 year made the change. After high school, I received scholarships, went to college, became a student body president, was very active, very involved. Here I am. And that's why, I think that we all can be that one person that makes a difference in those kids' lives. And that's why I was so excited to start on the New America School project, which specifically focuses on that. But yeah, it's, I think we can make that change in Las Cruces.
I love everything about that because it is just one person. And we never know who that person that we're influencing is. I wonder if Miss Brooks knows who you are today. I
kept in touch. I mean, I kept in touch with her. Every award that I got at work, at school, became a state officer, national officer. She knew all the steps that I took, and she's passed away now, but she knew the progress and she knew what impact she had in my life. She knew. That is wonderful. And back to the New America School, you paid it forward already, even there. So could you talk a little bit about that? Sure. Because I think that's really neat what you've done there. Yeah. So New America School is a charter school, a charter high school that's on Main Street here in Las Cruces, and we focus. And I still say I'm still keep in touch with some of the folks there. But now there's a new generation of leaders, new generation of teachers. But the focus there is to bring back students who have dropped out regardless of their age. Okay. And so you see grandmothers, you see aunts, uncles, grandfathers graduating and getting an actual high school diploma, not a GED, a high school diploma. So that takes them further. And, we also take students that are at risk of not doing well in their current schools and, at risk of being a dropout. So at risk students, or students who just want something a little bit different, or students who want a second chance, or some students have told us, this was my last chance, and we've seen such a success rate of they're going on, more than 70% of the students go on to further education once they get that high school diploma and that second or last chance. It's a phenomenal concept, great teachers, and we see results. And some of them, obviously, the students go through our time. Like, one student, I remember her sister was dying. She spent, her last few years with her, and then she aged out. She couldn't go back to, public schools. We took her in. Others have had other issues, and some of them are real simple issues. There was a student. She was in one of the high schools here. She was not doing well, and then we recognized her in front of a board meeting and asked her, well, what was going on? Were you getting bullied? Or was there some issues at home? You don't need to talk about it. Just say there were issues at home. And she said, no, I like the fact that you guys also have night school. I'm like, what? You have night school. I'm not a morning person. Okay. And I was struggling and having a hard time going to school in the morning. Now I signed up for night school and my grades are great. I mean, just something simple. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Okay, so I didn't realize that. Does it have both options, or is it just an evening? There's a day and night school and a daycare. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. So, so you founded that school, yes, right? I was a founder. We looked at the building. It was just a disaster inside. you had dust and dirt there that you can grow potatoes. It was awful. Yeah, and so we
you could have went that direction.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Food ecosystem.
Right. There you go. But we refurbished the building, got some good funding, hired a great staff, great principal, and great teachers, and it's just the results have been phenomenal.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you are a man that does what he says he's going to do, right? Mm-hmm. See, I love that. I love that. So let me see here. I want to make sure I hit on some of this stuff too. Who do you want to serve as city councilman here in Las Cruces, or what is your vision there?
So I want to start with the district. Local government is just that, local government. I want to focus in on my district. Mm. We should have drivable, repaired streets, medians that will take in the water when it rains, streets that are you could cycle through, and there's green space right now. That district is growing, mm-hmm. and there's an opportunity to really do great stuff, good stuff with greenery that is native here to Las Cruces. So it won't take up that much water, but it's going to look great. It's going to encourage people to go out and walk. I want to do what I've researched that are smart street lights. Okay. Basically what that is that you come up to a light, it senses if nobody is around, it'll immediately get you to the green light.
Okay.
And you're thinking, well, John, a couple of minutes or 5 minutes that you're waiting while nobody's there. What does that do? Well, one, that's more time with family. Gets you to work on time.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm like, right, I love that feature.
Exactly. There's and it's also good for the environment. So you're not idling as much and messing with the environment. So it just does so many things. They're just a little bit more, but it just improves the flow of traffic. And as we're growing, and we're setting up streets and streetscapes, it'll just be just that much more efficient for just a little bit more.
Are you anticipating a lot of growth here in Las Cruces?
We are. So there's in Las Cruces at 2020 or 2000, we were at about 75,000. Mm-hmm. Now, fast forward to today, we're at about 120. Some say even more than 120,000. Some say we're butting up against 200,000. We'll see what the census shows.
Mm-hmm. But this is just since 2020?
You can just sense it in the traffic. And then when there's construction, I just want to make sure it's done right, and we're taking care of our citizens, that it's safe. The flooding or the mudslides are to a minimum, or if they can be prevented. I think it'll just be better for our neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
But we are growing. We are growing in leaps and bounds.
That's a huge growth. I wasn't expecting that. But so you're seeing, you are seeing it going even further. So one of the things that I've learned about you is that you have worked in positions and managed, like you had said a little bit earlier, multi-million-dollar companies. Right. Thousands of employees have been, you've been at the helm of. First and foremost, what kinds of skills do you think that it was important for you to understand about being able to rally people around a common mission like that? Mm-hmm. We'll start with that because I think that's important.
Sure. So Las Cruces deserves leadership, and they, deserve results. So there's seven people on the council, including the mayor, and so we need to come to consensus, and that's where we negotiate, we state our points, we bring in data. Mm-hmm. Again, I've managed multi-million-dollar accounts. I've managed very complex projects, and with all different personalities from our different walks of life, and that's totally okay. And we've got to get that input to make the best decision.
That's right.
And when you're talking about city council, that's direct impact on people's livelihoods, like creating jobs, like making sure our fees and taxes make sense and they're producing something. So all that is very important. And I think I bring that skill where I can negotiate, I can come to consensus, I can put out my ideas in it'll make sense to people. And there are times that those ideas, there's some other input where I have to stop and say, well, wait a minute. Okay. That probably makes more sense. And again, when you have thousands of employees, I would get feedback daily.
Sure. Of course.
From all different angles and stuff, and I think that's important. It's important to be open to ideas.
That's I'm glad that you said that, because on top of, and that the all walks of life part, because of course, as a councilman, let's say, or even as a C-suite member of any large organization, you have a lot more information than the average everyday citizen. But how important, and do you have a process that you want to bring to the table to hear from everyone? Do you believe that it's important for every citizen to participate?
I do. We're going to launch some surveys, and again, it's dependent on getting people to the polls and voting, and voting for me too. But my plan afterwards is to immediately launch surveys, but also immediately launch town halls where I say, I'm going to be here at this location or that location. Please come join me and have a conversation with me. We'll use technology also by having Zoom calls and say, okay, it's hard for you to get out of the house, or you're somewhere else. You'd rather do it from home versus driving over to, a specific location. Let's talk about some of the things that are out there, some of the issues. And some of the, I've had a fun time just meeting, different people on the campaign trail, getting to know them, and they will tell you specifically. And so, John, there are some weeds that are overgrown here. Have you seen them? I'm like, well, no, I haven't, but thank you for telling me. And I write it down on my phone and file it so that and some of the issues I've already called the city. I'm not city councilor, I'm just a citizen, but here's what I've heard from folks.
Right. No need to wait until need to wait. And I love that too. Do you believe that, or in your experience here in Las Cruces, are those channels of communications kind of slow?
Well, one of the things that I think is important is to have that open dialogue and open communication, and it's about leadership. I think we have really good city employees that want to do their best, and it's from a leadership perspective, it's our piece to guide them and to give them the information and give them the tools. Some of the areas that I want to look at is really to limit or stop deferred maintenance. So what that means is that it's to try to save money or taxpayer money, which heart's in the right place. Say, okay, well, we're not going to fix that road or fix that building until 2 or 3 years from now to save money. The problem with that, though, and again, it kind of makes sense initially. But the problem with that is that then that building tends to deteriorate at a faster rate. Right? You have employees in there whose morale is low because they're like, oh my God, well, look at where I'm working. And then 3 years down the road, you don't know where inflation is going to be, what cost of materials are. So you pay now or you pay a whole lot more later. And so I want to minimize that or stop that so that we take care of our issues in the here and the now.
That is important, the investment. And you're right, it reflects on how everybody feels about showing up to work and about getting things done. So I absolutely agree with that. So now, what is the most important thing that people should know about you?
That's wow. Okay. That's, I don't know, Michelle, that's a hard one.
And there is a lot though. There's a lot. Let me think if I can, just because what I would like to hear. Okay, here's a good one.
Sure. Help me out a little bit. Help me out.
Here's a good one. And I can understand why it's hard for you to think about that, because you really have done a lot. And I'm very, and I didn't know how much you were involved with when I met you. So I think it's amazing. And so I think this will be a really fun segment of the conversation for a lot of people who may be like me, who, I moved back to the borderland area in 2019. Okay. I had a professional life where I was at before in Kentucky, and I moved back here because a series of kind of lemony snicket and unfortunate events, a series of unfortunate events. I lost my way, but I've regained my sense of self and my sense of understanding the importance of community and surrounding yourself with positive people. And I do want to participate. I have had to, still been in the process of doing, but I've had to meet people. I've had to reach out, like meeting you. And I want to be involved. There's so many people. So what I'm getting at is that there's so many people that want to be involved. And it's so easy to, right now especially, sit behind your screen and just be mad at the renovations happening at the White House or whatever, and not realize that, hey, but I can get involved in my own community and make a difference and feel good about that, no matter what happens. So I know that you do serve with a lot of nonprofits, you volunteer, you've created a lot, you've led a lot. How important is it to someone to start that volunteering journey, or to just start, getting in touch with their local government, their local, come to the meetings? How has that helped you in your career by participating, and what advice would you give? Gotcha. Was that kind of a long?
No, that was very good. Thank you. No, that helps me out. It's super important. So previously, with my other company, I encouraged our employees to be super involved and active, and we were a huge part of this community, and they took care of us very well. We had a great relationship. At Electronic Caregiver, we encourage our employees to also volunteer, and we pay them for that volunteer if they want to get paid for that.
Wow!
So there is an amount, amazing. And so that so we stand by volunteers.
Wow.
And it's been so rewarding. I've been involved with Jardín de los Niños, which works with children who are homeless or near homeless, and got an award from them, and was also recognized by the governor. I work with Boys and Girls Club, and we're hoping to open up that new building and give kids and young adults just a great opportunity to gather.
Yes.
So in one of my current nonprofit, where I'm the CEO and president, is the Downtown Las Cruces Partnership, now known as Main Street Las Cruces.
Okay.
And we make people aware of the culture in the districts. We bring them downtown to help out our merchants, our nonprofits, our museums. And we've had some really just wild success. We're about to do the zombie walk, and we're seeing a 30% increase in activity. And that was from a few hundred now to about 5,000 to 6,000 people that participate in that. And those costumes are just extraordinarily outrageous sometimes. And it's pretty fun. Then,
and you said there's a contest, or is there a contest?
There is a contest. There's a small
that makes
parade.
It fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's for kids and big kids. Big kids also dress up. Little kids dress up. So it's kind of neat. And then we also have the chili drop, our signature event. And there's a whole lot of other things that we do. Right? We help merchants. We do mentorship. We do what I would call quasi incubation.
Okay.
And we want to shore that up and make that more robust. But one of our signature events is the chili drop, and that's grown from 300, 400, 500 to 8,000, 9,000 people, and so much so that now we are a recognized true New Mexico event from the New Mexico Tourism Department, where we've received a grant from them as well. But so last year we were recognized by CNN. CNN came down. We were part of their.
And this is for the Hatch chili?
This is for the chili drop, where how in Atlanta you have the peach dropping. In New York, you have the apple dropping. So we dropped the chili drop.
That's on New Year's. That's
New Year's Eve.
I didn't. I'm thinking it's like a chipper. Okay, because I'm from Kentucky area. So first I was thinking like chili, like a chili cook-off. And I'm like,
no, that's another good idea. But no,
that is a good idea.
No, it's so much fun. I mean, we have the CNN crew here. And one of the things they said is, wow, we love your team, John. We love the organization. Is we love the people here in the Southwest. They're so friendly. And they are all over the world, all over the world. One of the producers had actually come back from covering Ukraine war, the Ukraine war with Russia. And he was like, oh my, this is such a treat.
Refreshing.
For me, John. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we gave them salsa, and we had them, kind of, their minds were blown with salsa, and it was a great time, and we have received great coverage. We were also recognized by USA Today as a destination spot. Okay. And so all that, the downtown Las Cruces is really developing our Mesquite district with the historical piece. And there's some really exciting news that I can't talk about just yet for Mesquite in the downtown district, but it's coming, and it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm really happy with my board, a very strong board. They, volunteer, happy with the donations that we get from members of the community. And so that's a really fun nonprofit that I'm having a great time with.
So there's so much to unpack there, and I could keep you here for hours. So I'm trying not to keep you too long, this isn't going to be our last conversation, of course.
Awesome.
But what I am hearing you talk about, and what you're involved with, and not just involved, but like the president and CEO of the downtown, you said it's now called
Main Street Las Cruces.
Main Street Las Cruces. They just changed the name.
Yes.
So Main Street Las Cruces, but you care about everything. Truly, you care, and not only do you care about everything, but not only are you experienced with everything, but you're like actively involved in everything that any community member should be, that can benefit from science, technology, to the arts. So, and engineering, because, that's what you're talking about in terms of, civic engineering and making sure that the city runs smoothly. And I just think that's the absolute win. That's just really exciting for me. I wish I lived in Las Cruces. I'm just kidding, El Paso. I love El Paso too, but we're all one big community, and that's going to bring me to my last question. But before I get to that, tell us more about how you feel about technology and how important it is to all ages and for us as Americans and as citizens in the borderland, even in particular, to not be afraid of it, maybe, but to really understand that it's an economic almost necessity. Do you feel that way, or what do you think?
When microwaves hit, and I'm a little bit older, not as young as you, but when technology hit and the microwaves came in, we had to sneak in the microwave to my grandmother's house, and she did not want it. She's like, "Oh my goodness, what is this?
It's the devil."
How can something exactly? How can this thing cook in a few seconds when it's supposed to take a long time? We had to sneak it in, right? After a while, she loved it, and she couldn't live without it. Right. So some of us, could be that way, but I think it's important to embrace it. There's a lot of repairs for the Brannigan Library here in downtown, and I'm glad we're doing that. And there would be a good place for us to also focus on AI and quantum computing that's coming down the road. I think that it's also important. We as a company, Electronic Caregiver, we have embraced that, and we're using agentic AI to use technology to help with healthcare, and we're seeing some really good results. And so we will need that, whether it's at the library, at college, at schools, at the Boys and Girls Club Center, and here at our company. We think we have a great concept. It's going well, that we will be the first, or one of the first Fortune 500 companies in New Mexico. And that's going to affect our borderland area, because we have some employees from El Paso. Most of our employees are from Las Cruces. Most of our employees have graduated from NMSU. Okay. So we've captured a lot of employees here and created jobs for them. And it's in the technology space. I mean, of course, we hire CNAs and we hire nurses, of course, and other customer service professionals. But technology is super important, and I think that's going to help us. AI is not going to take people's jobs. the people who understand and learn AI, that's who's going to take your job. If there's a job to be taken, right?
Yeah, and there is. Yeah, I know you're being humble, but no, there is. And also, I mean, what you all do at Electronic Caregiver, it's another testament to your heart of service, because it's like having that round the clock monitoring for people that, may be compromised, their health may be compromised. And, and then especially with, everything that's going on in Washington, D.C., unfortunately, you just don't know what benefits are going to be available for people. So utilizing technology has been very helpful.
Absolutely. The doctors, the nurses, CNAs, they love it because they can service more people more thoroughly, if that's right. If I can phrase it that way. The patients love it because they also have a little bit of control and information, more data, more information about their health as well.
Right.
And so there's a bit of independence there and ownership of their health. And the doctors are, it's like, wow, this is easier for me because, doctors, we have such a shortage of doctors right now.
Ooh, we sure do.
We do.
That's scary.
It takes months to get in. You get in, you wait for 2 hours, and then on average they see you about 6 minutes, and they're stressed. There's so many things coming at them, and these individuals are trying to take care of us, and so we're giving them tools to help out.
Absolutely. And I love the product. So I'll definitely, of course, be linking that in the show notes. But I do believe it's the wave of the future. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. But yeah, so I just the reason I'm highlighting those things for everybody listening and just in talking to you is, I mean, you have a personal, you have a personal connection with the children, you know what I mean, and school and learning and understanding how important that is. You have a personal connection with technology in a very in a new space on top of that, and in healthcare, and in the arts. I mean, it's just like you are just a great leader, and you're so inspiring. And I've known you for several months now, maybe almost a year now. Well, yeah, we're turning over on that, or has it been that long?
No, I don't think it's been that long.
No, it hasn't been that long. It feels like forever. It feels like forever, but that's the warmth and that is just the heart of you. You're very, you have always made me feel very welcome to call you, ask you questions, and you've always been readily available. And I really do appreciate that, because as somebody who is, I'm sure that my story, and the reason that I'm doing this whole podcast with 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City is to inspire. I want to inspire the everyday Borderlander, the everyday El Pasoan, the everyday Las Crucian. I guess, is that how you say it?
Las Crucian.
There
is a debate about that. So
there was.
I hope I didn't lose votes in that. Some people say Las Crucian. Some people say Las Crucian.
I think I'm thinking Rosicrucian or something. But yeah, the Las Crucian. Ian, whatever, however whatever floats your boat there. But, I want to be, I created the 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City channel to inspire the everyday person to just reach out, to step out of your comfort zone, to, in order to make an impact, in order to make a change, in order to feel safe. Community is everything. And knowing who is a leader in your community and knowing who's in leadership is your right as a citizen. It's not just a nice to have. You are welcome at any council meeting, any open meeting to the public. It's your right to be there. You don't need to know everything already. In fact, you probably don't. But that's why they have those meetings. That's why they're here to serve you. And as you being their constituent, you have every right to call and ask questions, to learn. And that's how you get involved, So, and I want you to know, if you're in Las Cruces, that this John Munoz is incredibly approachable. I have no skin in the game. I don't live here, so I'm just speaking from true experience of someone who did not know him, reached out, and now I know him, and now I keep learning more about him. I'm like, it's just brilliant what you've been able to accomplish, and not just for yourself, but for the people that you've been able to bless in the process of that. And so a mini question and then the last question. I just said that so I could slide in an extra question, but real quick, I was just wondering, with you doing everything that you're doing and the volunteering aspect, because I do think this is important because, like there's so many people that are, they're business owners, they're small business owners. They may have a brick and mortar shop or maybe not, but, why should they get involved? Why should they connect with their city councilman, the small business owners, because we see that, the statistics are there, 90 to 95% of small businesses fail. I'm very passionate about that because there's so many talented people, but they do fail because they sit in silos, I feel like a lot of times. How important is it for them to connect with their councilman or woman and get involved and volunteer?
Well, that's one of the things that I understand and can empathize with the business owner or folks that are in business. So it is very, very important. I encourage people to go out and vote. Early voting has started. The election day is the 4th. Don't wait until then. Long lines, and you just never know what can happen. So
right now, you basically get in and out, right?
Yeah, it's not very long lines if there are any lines. So just get in and vote. And again, I'm running for District 6 City Council here in Las Cruces. But one is understanding the business owner here. The business owner who's here, who started a business, in my opinion, is very vested in the community. They hire relatives, they hire friends, they hire neighbors. They want to be successful. You see them, at the store, you see them at church, you see them at the movies, you see them at the parks. They want to be successful. And so from a city government perspective, I want to help with that. I want to help shore up that business. I want to provide some resources where maybe that business could grow 2 or 3 more people because they don't want to go away. It's not like it's someone coming in from New Jersey or New York or Kentucky. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, No. We love Michelle.
But I was born and raised in the borderlands, so that's my excuse.
Those are your roots. But so they're vested, and we tend to focus on let's bring in this and that. And I do want to recruit high paying jobs and more businesses here. Of course. But first, I want to focus in on our local businesses and establish a relationship, encourage them to be involved, to help me and help the city and the city councilors establish, good codes, good fee system. If they need a permit or need something that we are, have a velocity, speed track that through so that they get approvals right away. Because anytime, if it takes us 6 months to approve something, that hurts a business significantly. Could we do that in 6 days instead? Right. And so that's what I want to look at. And I think it's very important for the city councilors to have a relationship with people in business in Las Cruces.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So my final question would be, what do you believe will make the borderland in total as working together? So, from Las Cruces to El Paso to Juarez, and all of these ecosystems. This is kind of a big question because especially for you, because you are so involved in every sector. But is there something top of mind that you would like to see happen in or for the borderland, or that, or just in general for this area that will make us more powerful together?
Yeah, I think that the communication piece is super important. It's reaching out, just like you did, right? Reaching out, and then my reaching out back to you as well, and then establishing that relationship. I think that's important. We're neighbors. We're neighbors with Texas, with El Paso, and with Mexico. I mean, we understand the language, we understand the culture. We should be doing more business with them in Mexico, for example, versus Idaho, right?
Right.
And we're city councilors, and we have a certain jurisdiction, and we're responsible for what happens locally. But things in the state, things nationally, things in the region also will impact us. And I think I think that reaching out, and I have a network and some a lot of friends in El Paso. I think that we can start there, and then branch out to the universities who build our workforce, and then the chambers and other organizations. There's so many neat organizations throughout this area.
There really are,
and we should be talking to each other to make a bigger impact.
Absolutely agree. Thank you, John, so much for your time today. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people?
No, thank you, Michelle, for your time and including me in your podcast. I really appreciate you. And again, I love this new journey on the campaign trail. I've met so many wonderful people. People have been so supportive, and thank you for your votes, your contributions, and just well wishes. And November 4th. Last day to vote. So get out there.
Let's
get out there and vote.
Let's do it. What is that? The November the 4th, 11/4/2025. Make sure that you get to the polls. And I highly, fully, completely endorse Mr. John Munoz, because you're an amazing man. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Bless you.
Bless you.